I've kept this speaker a bit of a secret because if they decided that it was going to be a little overwhelming, they could pull out last moment, and I didn't want to kind of overwhelm them with the pressure and the build-up. So this is quite difficult for me, but if you could all raise your hands and make Josie, my daughter, feel really, really welcome, that would be amazing. Okay. And I've got to shut up and sit down, apparently.
You better.
Yeah, I will.
All right, thank you. Thank you for letting me share my thoughts on failure. I mean, you didn't really let me because you didn't know I was going to do this, but when Dad and I talked about this, I decided I wanted to deliver my own content, mainly because I did not want to be his mouthpiece, because if you've ever done that, it's boring. The reason for that is that if I make mistakes or I fail, I want to fail doing things that's mine. So my mistakes, my content, my responsibility. I've watched him make a lot of mistakes, but he does always take credit for them. I'm going to talk to you guys today about 4 things. Is failure good or bad? The importance of failure. Perspective is everything. And your attitude. Is failure good or bad? People do see it as a bad thing, but you probably shouldn't, because everyone fails in life, and if you go through life just seeing failure as negative, you're never going to get anywhere. Importance. How and why is failure important? Perspective, how you can see failure. And attitude, what you do with your failure. So, first thing, is failure good or bad? There's no such thing. It just is. You choose whether to see your failure as positive or as negative. And it's about how you deal with it, not whether it's good or bad in itself. Next week, 8 days, I get my GCSE results. And I don't care about what I get. I care about how I deal with what I get. Because I know all my friends are going, oh God, if I don't get what I need, I'm going to die, I'm going to fail in life, and nothing I do will ever be good if I don't get what I need. And that's just so wrong. Because it's not what you get, it's how you deal with it. And when I thought about doing this talk, didn't know if I'd be any good. You guys can tell me afterwards. But what would failing at this look like? I mean, if I fail, I could see it as a good thing because I'm providing evidence on how to fail. But at the same time, I don't really want to fail. So you get a pen.
The not so glamorous assistant.
Okay, so this is, just call it out. Give me some bad things about failure. Go on.
It's painful.
Painful. Yep.
You feel embarrassed.
Yep, embarrassed.
Distressing. There you go, spell that. Financial cost.
How did you spell embarrassing that
All
wrong?
right. Double S's, S's and C's. I struggle.
No, you've got... What else?
Financial cost. Cost. Fear.
Fear.
Might want to give up. Give my hardware spell. Discombobulating. I was wishing you had bothered.
What else?
You said rejection. Sorry? Rejection. I know. Rejection.
What else?
You lose belief in yourself.
What else?
Wasteful. Waste of time.
Lack of confidence.
Doubt.
What else? That it? You guys suck. All right. So look, all of these things, we've all experienced all of these. That's what failure is. That's how life works. When you fail, you feel one or more of these things. I know if I don't get the GCSE results I want, I will feel embarrassed. I will lose belief in myself to do my A-levels. I might not be as confident. I probably won't have a financial cost, but there's fear if I fail, because what do I'm assuming I'm going to do sixth form, so if I fail them, what do I do instead? There's the unknown. Let's do my A-levels first. Give up? Might not do my A-levels anyway. Discombobulating? Yeah, right. I'm just proud you spelt it. There's maybe not rejection, but I might be disappointed in myself that I didn't do, and wasting time. That I feel that time I spent revising was wasted because I didn't do well enough. You want to list the good for me?
Yeah.
All right. Good things about failure.
You've learned what makes you feel that what you've learned, what you're full of pride. You've learned something.
Develop resilience.
You've had an experience. Character building.
Have another go.
Learn how to laugh. Teaching others.
Keep him on his toes.
Improvement. You've tested something.
Sorry?
You've tested something.
Oh, I like your segue there.
You got a result even if it wasn't the one you wanted.
What else?
Could throw up other options that you hadn't thought of before.
Anything else?
Gathering data.
Anything else?
Forces you to, well, I think it's probably similar to new options, but forces you to look outside of your comfort zone and the box.
Comfort zone. Anything else?
Gets rid of your fear because you realise that you can just go again. Validation.
Anything else?
You've got that paper now.
Oh, I can get him to write more. Right. Look, just look there. Look how many more good things there are than bad things. And this goes back to what Dad was saying about failing fast. You get to the good things. Look on the bright side. Failure is not the be-all and end-all. You know, you don't fail and, oh, that's it, I'm giving up. If I fail at this, it's not going to be the last time I talk, mainly because he's my dad, and he'll make me do something. But look, just when you think of failure, you think of it negatively. That's straight away. Fail, that's bad. But just look, there's bad things, yeah, sure, but there's so many more good things. You realize that failure is positive. And you guys have taken pretty much all the bad things and you've just flipped them. Yeah? You've flipped them into positive things. And it's just, people need to realize, you guys need to realize, that failure is not a big deal. I was forced to have this picture. This is not. The importance of failure. Without it, as we said, you can't learn, you can't grow. And you have no opportunities to challenge yourself. When I was riding, when you fall off, you can put your horse back in the stable and you can go home and cry or something. Or you can get back on your horse and you can do it again and you can go over the jump again and not fall off. Or you can go around the corner where you fell off because you were going too fast. And when I was riding, I got back on. Mainly because my mum made me, but I got back on. And if I hadn't failed, I wouldn't have gotten better. And I was as good of a rider as I was because I grew as the size of the jumps did. And I know I don't do this because I don't put too much weight on my failure. But I know Dad, he likes to write 3 things that he's learned every day so that you can look at the positives.
Why is it still sport QPR?
I don't know. Ask him.
That way he's always got something to learn.
And this is the big thing. Failing doesn't make you a failure. Failing makes you human. Everyone know like that one person, everyone will have met one, where they're just like, they're athletic, they're popular, they're pretty, they're smart, they have everything. Put your hand up really quickly if you know someone like that in school or business or, come on, just, yeah? Most of us. Did they like seem fully human to you? Because there's like 3 in my year and I'm pretty sure they're aliens or angels. When you fail, you, hopefully, Robin, get up. Hopefully you get up and you try again. And getting up and trying again is an incredibly human thing. Failing makes you human because being human is about enduring. And we'll be damned if we don't get something after we fail the first time. We try again, and we try again, and we try again, and we'll fail, and we'll fail, and we'll fail until we get what we want, until we succeed. And we don't, as a human race, collectively, we just don't take no for an answer, if you haven't noticed. Otherwise, how would we gotten into space? How would we have gotten to the moon? How would we have gotten past the speed of sound? How would we have gotten electricity? So failing doesn't make you a failure. It makes you human, and it makes you determined to succeed. And that's what people need to realize. I'll show you this image. I'm sure everyone's seen this before. Yeah? Who sees the pretty lady first? The young lady. Who sees the old woman first? Put your hand up if you can't see the other one. Okay, so. Old woman. There's the nose. One eye. Yeah? There's the... Who's moving it? There's the mouth. There's the... You see it? You starting to see it? If you couldn't see the young lady, there's the eye. She's turning away. Here's her chin. That's her nose. This is her hair. That's her coat. You start to see it? If you can't, that's okay, because it's a picture. So, if you couldn't before, can you flip? Most people, can you flip from one to the other? Yeah? If you can change the way you look at this picture, you should be able to change the way you look at your failure. Because just when something happens and you think it's bad, it doesn't automatically make it a bad thing. So if you can change the way you look at this picture, you should be able to change the way you look at your mistakes. And sometimes you have to think, who is looking at the failure? Sometimes we're afraid of our failure because we're afraid of what other people are going to think of us. My main fear of being up here, public speaking, whatever, is because I'm scared of what people in this room are going to think of me. Because anything like that, you're going to be scared, you're going to look like a fool in front of who you're talking to. But really, one person's failure is often another person's, no big deal, move on, it wasn't that bad. When Dad lost his business, and I went to go and spend my weekends with him, I'd sleep on the floor. We didn't always have the treats I wanted, the toys I wanted. Didn't get to go to the movies. Maybe I didn't even get a mattress, I was just sleeping on the floor. And he thought he failed because he lost his business, but I didn't care. In fact, he hid it from me, so I was probably too young to notice. But I knew I was sleeping on a floor, because you don't really not notice you're sleeping on a floor. I noticed that we were moving around a lot, that sometimes I'd go see him, he was in one block of flats, and then I'd go back a week later and we were somewhere completely different. I noticed. I didn't care. Because Dad lost his business. He failed in the business world. Or failed. But he's my dad. He didn't fail at being a dad. You can't really fail at being a dad. You can't, anyway.
I'm trying so hard.
Since when? So, because to me, when he failed in your business, he hadn't failed at what was important. Put your hands up if you've got kids. How many times have you messed up in business and thought that would impact your kids in some way? Quite a lot? Yeah? Your kids don't care. I'm just telling you now, your kids don't care. Because they care more about you as a parent, or your partner cares more about you as their partner, than they care about you as a business owner. Because they might love your business, but you as a person is always going to be more important. I didn't care I was sleeping on the floor. I cared I was spending time with my dad. Who knows Captain Jack Sparrow? Please say yes. Please say yes. Please say yes. Okay. Attitude. The problem is not the problem. Your attitude to the problem is the problem. You can change your attitude towards failure. If you never fail, you don't know what success feels like. You learn how to deal with failure when you fail. Because you know what works, you know what doesn't. You know how you feel. You know how to deal with what you're feeling. Like my GCSE exams. You understand how many times I've heard, like before the exams, you understand how many times I've heard, oh my God, if I don't do well, oh my God, my parents are going to kill me. Oh my God, I'm not going to be able to do my A-levels or get a job, or oh my God, I'm going to die. You understand how much it's so annoying. I've got a friend, Polly. She failed her business exam that we took in year 10, the year before GCSEs. She failed it the first time, had to go back and take it the second time. And she just got so stressed because she'd failed the first time that she almost gave up even trying for the second time. Giving up on revising, giving up on expecting that she'd do well. And because she was stressed, it led to bad revision. And because of the bad revision, it meant bad performance in exams. You have to focus on the now, because your present is the future. What you do now affects what you do later. You need to focus on what you're doing now rather than the outcome, because you can't influence the outcome unless you focus on now. And Thomas Edison. By the way, actually, I saw The Current War, the movie about him. It's bloody brilliant. It's so good. I'd recommend it. It's a very human story. And it's clear from the film that I saw. Most people's attitude would have been, I've failed 10,000 times. I'm just going to leave now. Or they wouldn't even gotten to the 10,000th try. They would have failed once or 5 times or 10 times, and they would have given up. But that's clearly not the attitude that he had. Clearly. Because he got to 10,000 tries, and even then he did not see that as failing 10,000 times. And look where that took him. Look at these lights, look at this projector. Look at that camera. He failed 10,000 times. He tried 10,000 times. He found 10,000 ways that don't work, and he kept trying until suddenly he had a light bulb that was glowing for 13 hours straight. So sometimes you just need to think about what your attitude is telling you. So, is failure good or bad? The default is bad, but it's not. The importance of failure. Some people are so afraid of failure that they don't take action. And no action leads to no failure. and no failure leads to no growth. We've talked about perspective. We've talked about thinking failure is bad, but often those we are trying to protect, they see something completely different. And we've talked about attitude. You get to choose your attitude. And if you're choosing your attitude to failure, I'd make it a good choice. And one last thing. Pen story. I kind of touched on this. Sometimes we're great at creating a fear of failure when it's just not necessary. So there's a sign in my classroom, and it's probably in like every classroom around the country. There's this really annoying picture of this minion from like Despicable Me, you know? And then there's like a load of text and there's a pen. And it says, don't forget your pen to school. Because if you forget your pen, you can't take notes. If you don't make notes, you can't learn. If you don't learn, you can't revise. If you don't revise, you won't pass your exams. If you don't pass your exams, you won't get a job. If you don't get a job, you won't get any money. And without money, you're going to not get food. And without food, you're going to die. I'm not kidding, that's literally what it says. It has die, like big capital letters, like everything. And we're great at creating this fear. And just think, we've gone from forgetting your pen one time to dying. And you might not do that, because I hope not. But you do that. Everyone does it. You spiral. You go from, oh God, okay, I've done this one thing wrong. Oh, okay, and that's going to do this, and that's going to do that, and that's, oh no, and oh no, oh no, oh no. Until suddenly you're blowing things way out of proportion. And I'd hope that everyone in this room would just lean over to the person next to them and go, hey, can I borrow a pen?